Minister, the single biggest question to be asked here tonight is why is the restructuring being put forward in the first place? What are the intentions of the Department for Social Protection and indeed the intentions of the Citizens Information Board as regard these plans? It is ridiculous that neither MABS nor indeed CIS have been given any explanation whatsoever as to the rationale for the planned restructuring. Reasons such as governance, accountability and value for money have been cited by the Citizens Information Board, but they seem incapable of going any further than that. So can you, Minister, clarify what are the issues around governance, what are the issues around accountability and what are the issues around value for money? These are questions that must be answered at the very least, and they are the questions that you, as the Minister, must answer here this evening. MABS and Citizens Information Service provide a first-class and indeed a unique service, and I think everyone in the House would agree with that. With so much red tape and bureaucracy across the board, the Citizens Information Service provides valuable information for people on a range of issues. And MABS, in many cases, deal with some of the most vulnerable people in our communities on a daily basis. Those struggling to pay debts or those in mortgage distress. We know that support and assistance provided by MABS has been the difference between a family's home being repossessed and being protected. We see this excellent work replicated in schemes such as Awalya, which has been rolled out. The way in which these decisions have been made and then told to both MABS and indeed CIS has been totally underhanded. While CIB have said that a lengthy and extensive consultation period took place, MABS and indeed CIS beg to differ. There was no engagement with those at the front line of MABS or indeed CIS services, those who are best placed to understand the realities and challenges of service delivery have been ignored in the decision-making process. The entire process undertaken by CIB and the Department in these restructuring plans raise real concerns as to the real intentions behind these changes. In February, when plans to regionalise MABS offices became apparent, Sinn Féin facilitated MABS to come in here and brief all Oireachtas members as to their concerns. And on the back of this meeting, I requested that the Committee on Social Protection would invite stakeholders in to discuss and examine these plans. The committee report on this will be produced next week, and I hope that the Minister would then be invited and accept that invite into the committee with this report in mind. Unfortunately, and it has to be said, Fianna Fáil saw this issue as a political opportunity, and hence we see this motion here before us this evening. Having said that, first and foremost, what is important here is the protection of the services as they are. On consulting with MABS on this motion last week, I have submitted an amendment to remove the call for a cost-benefit analysis of the restructuring process. Given the voluntary nature of the MABS and indeed CIS services as they are, I do not see a cost-benefit analysis being necessary, and MABS have also reiterated that statement. MABS have themselves carried out a cost-benefit analysis. They have found it will cost €1 million to wind down the current services, and a new regionalised model will cost between €2.2 and €2.3 million, a huge and totally unnecessary use of taxpayers' money. Our amendment also calls on the Minister to ensure that the existing model, where independent management of the service is drawn from the local community and the voluntary sector, is maintained. We cannot allow the community aspect of both MABS and the CIS to be lost, and this will be the case if the restructuring goes ahead. Instead of 93 voluntary companies based within their communities, we will see 8 regional companies which will be far removed from the communities they serve. This is nothing positive or indeed beneficial to the citizens in this case. Central to both the work of MABS and the CIS is the volunteers who selflessly give their time to provide help and advice to others. The importance of this cannot be stressed enough. So how does CIB propose to attract and retain unpaid boards for regional structures? Has the cost of the loss of volunteers been considered in all of this? Already we have seen volunteers walk away disillusioned at the lack of any consultation with them and fearful for the structure of the services as they are. And both MABS and CIS have said volunteers are walking away, and Dunleary volunteers are walking away, and that was given at hearing in the committee. Local government will be lost, local involvement will be lost. The entire ethos that MABS is built on, which has made it so successful to date, will be lost. So when Minister Varadkar could be looking at fixing the many issues ongoing across his department, be that child poverty, youth unemployment, lone parents, job activation schemes, or any number of others, he instead focused on fixing something that is not broke in the first place. Minister, you, along with the CIB, have failed to demonstrate with actual evidence the existence of a problem, the solution to which you consider is regionalisation. Minister, you can do what was done by the late Seamus Brennan back in 2007. Issue a directive to CIB, halt this regionalisation proposal and do so in the best interest of the most vulnerable in society, which you claim time and time again to have at the core of everything you do. So, Minister, I ask you to do that without hesitation.